We're canning pickles, and let me just say, it is not as hard as you think. It's quite easy, actually. These are bread and butter pickles. I took 10 pounds of cucumbers and sliced them up. I like a thicker pickle, so I sliced mine, I would say around 1/4 inch. When I first did them, I did them thin, but I've learned I just like them thicker, but it doesn't matter. I have mine on a baking sheet. We're gonna salt them and pack them with ice. Regular plain salt, you don't wanna use iodized salt. That's because the iodine can discolor your pickles and give the brine a cloudy look. We're gonna sprinkle 1/2 cup right over the top. Next, 3 teaspoons of garlic salt. 1, 2, and 3. Next, we're just packing them down with ice. Just like this, and we're gonna let them sit on the counter for 3 hours. We're reaching the 3-hour mark on our cucumbers on ice, so we're gonna fix our brine. In a large pot, 5 cups of sugar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 cups of vinegar. It really doesn't matter, white or brown. I just use brown. 1, 2, 3. 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric, 1/2 teaspoon of mustard seed, and 1/2 teaspoon of celery seed. We're gonna heat this up on high heat just until the sugar melts. I'm gonna drain the water off of my cucumbers. The sugar's melted, we're gonna add the cucumbers to the pot. And I'm just dropping them in a spoonful at a time. And once you have all your cucumbers in the pot, you'll see that the cucumbers overtake the brine. In other words, there's more cucumbers than there is brine. But what you're gonna do is just let them cook down. You want the cucumbers to get good and hot. You'll notice also as they spend some time in that brine, they'll start to darken, and you want that to happen. In the meantime, I'm not really gonna stir them. I'm just going to push them down. Once your cucumbers are covered and you see that you have got a boil, we're gonna turn off the heat and take the cucumbers out and move them to a jar. I have not done anything fancy to my jars other than letting hot water sit in them just a bit so that the pickles are not a complete shock. I have cracked a jar in this learning process. Now you're just gonna add your pickles to your jars. I keep saying I'm gonna get me one of those wide funnel, well, I guess they're like jar funnels. It would make this so much easier. Of course, this is easier with a wide mouth, but I will struggle with these regular mouth. You can tap your jar and shake the pickles down. That way you can get as many in the jar as you can. Then I'm just gonna dip a little bit of the mixture out and fill it up to the top, leaving about 1 inch headspace at the top of the jar. Just like that. Once you got your jars packed, you are wiping your rims down with white vinegar on a paper towel. Place your lids, add your rings, finger tight. Let them sit, come down to room temperature, and then once they're sealed, they're ready to go on the shelf. They'll be good for several years, but if you're like my family, they will not last that long.